hailing frequencies open. I keep forgetting that as my co-host has reminded me. Welcome to
You're welcome.
Trek Retrek, episode 15, Shore Leave, here on Geek the F Out. I'm Captain Johnny.
I'm Ensign Kayla.
We're at the halfway point of season 1.
That's crazy. When you just said 15, it just hit me.
There's 30
all
episodes.
At once.
We are exactly halfway through.
Damn.
It's wild.
That's crazy town.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Where has time gone?
I don't know.
It's gone so fast.
So this episode is Shore Leave. TVGuide.com says a rest and recreation stop is anything but restful when the crew sees living persons from their own pasts and a host of other unexplainable sights, including knights on horseback and samurai warriors. Yeah, this
episode had everything.
This is a ride.
It was. As Stefan from SNL would say, it's like what you just said. This episode has everything. It has a tiger. It has a knight in shining armor jousting. It has Don Juan, Alice in Wonderland, samurai, a kid who bullied you at the academy, your fling from the academy, chorus line dancers. It has it all. That is a really
That's the episode, folks.
But yeah,
we're done. she covered it all.
Yeah. I really did.
So this episode starts with Kirk on the bridge getting a back rub from what he thinks is Spock, but it is not, and he's into it until he realizes that it's not Spock.
I was dying because I thought at first that he knew it was the yeoman, and then when he says Spock, and because I always have the sub titties on, it did like a dash, and I was like, oh, he's gonna realize it's not Spock. And and then it's funny because he doesn't get startled, he just slowly transitions and is just like, that's good now. Like very awkwardly, and got some good that's what they said's out of it. Spoiler alert.
You sure did. So the first things I have is we get a roundabout number of 433 people on the Enterprise because Bones is talking to Sulu, and he's like,
oh,
they talk about Sulu and McCoy. He says the captain and 430 other people. So
yeah, which I just thought that the total number was 430, but I guess he's being exact because he would be exact because he's a doctor.
Yeah, I feel like it might also be a roundabout. I mean, 433 is very specific, if depending on how it was covered in the script. Who knows? We get a little bit of Sulu exercising his botany muscle.
Yeah, he
talking
does.
About the plants.
Yeah, and it's so funny because everything happens so quickly too. Like they're talking about Alice in Wonderland, and then the bunny pops up, and Alice pops up, and we just get right into the episode, the nitty gritty of the episode, essentially.
Yeah, and McCoy's like carrying a switch the whole time, like he's gonna give someone a whipping.
Why did I never notice this?
I don't know, he's got a stick or something in his hand. I'm like, is McCoy carrying a switch?
Wow, I watched this twice and I did not notice that. Maybe because there was just so much other fuckery going on.
There's a lot of weirdness packed into this episode.
There is. Like Stefan would love this episode. Everything is in it. It's great.
Quite a bit of what I have written is like lines and moments.
But
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's interesting because Kirk always does the star date, and so he stumbles with this episode, and it shows like how tired he is. and just to go along with that, but I loved the moment where Spock tricks Kirk into making him do shore leave. And he's
Yes,
like,
Spock.
"Oh, there's someone on board that is refusing to go down and they're showing signs of exhaustion and fatigue. Like, wouldn't you think that, like, uh for the sake of the ship that they need to go down?" He's like, "Absolutely, like, on my order." And he's like, "Who is it?" And he's like, "James Kirk." And it's funny because Spock first looks at him too, like, "Oh, do you know who that is?" Like, genuinely looks at him, and then he smiles and he's like, "Hee, I got you."
Yeah,
I
I
loved
wrote
that.
down Spock bamboozled Kirk.
Hmm. I appreciated that very much. Um, and then I don't know who said it, but someone said Omicron and then said Delta right after. I'm like, were they predicting the future with coronavirus?
I
I
remember
know they're
that. I'm
just I
forgetting
know
who
they're
said it.
just uh
Yeah,
what is it, Greek alphabet? Are they both Greek alphabet, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But still it just like triggered. It's like COVID variants.
Yeah, um, and they're talking about how there's nothing on this planet, but there's certainly plenty of fucking wind chimes. Apparently, there's wind chime sounds all throughout this episode.
Oh, okay. For
Like,
a second, I thought you were talking about the antennas, and I was like, those
no,
are antennas.
no,
I literally did that in the meme. um, yeah, there was. The music was definitely all over the place. They really brought it with the music this episode, but yeah, lots of wind chimes for sure. Um, oh, and I thought it was weird that the boulder just moved to uncover the gun.
yeah,
Like, why? Like, why didn't a gun just appear? And also, like, was Sulu thinking about that then?
it must have been because
Yeah.
when they go and they find him shooting, he's like, I've thought
It's
about this
fun.
for. I've always wanted one. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
Sulu is a
Gun nut.
firearms enthusiast. Yeah, put it a
You said
little.
it nicer than
I
me.
said it. Yeah, put it a little nicer than that.
um, yeah, which when he finds it, he immediately starts shooting it. I was like, boys and their guns, I
Yeah,
swear. Just like he wouldn't think for a second that might scare some of the other
yeah.
crew members. Just yeah, willy-nilly. No regard for consequences. Um yeah, and then I was like, who's this new lady with Barrows? How do you say her name? Barrows?
Baron.
I thought it was Barrows. I wrote it down somewhere eventually when they said it again. No, I don't see it on my notes, of course. I have my
Yeah,
little Donnie is blocking me.
Tanya Barrows.
Yeah. Ooh, I should show. I just realized I didn't show this last episode, but I have my
Oh yeah,
Spock turtle. Turtly turtle. He looks so good. And it's Donnie too. I like Donnie. He's fun. Anywho. um oh yeah, and I think it was right after that when oh, right before that I said take a drink every time they say restful.
yeah. They were really. It's beautiful and restful.
Mm-hmm.
It's restful.
Yeah. Every damn time. Uh and then I think yeah, it was right after Sulu starts shooting it that we first see the antenna thing.
I think so.
I think it was around then. And then we just keep seeing it popping up
Mm-hmm.
and watching them. Which is interesting to use something that was tech at the time
Yeah,
when
because
this show
it's
came out. But I get it. It works.
um. I have written down. I might be jumping around here, but when Barrows finds
Okay.
the like princess outfit I just heard that's some hat.
Oh yeah, that was some hat. um, Going back a bit though to Finnegan,
Finnegan.
that is a character, which I'm very curious if that was exactly like how he was in person when Kirk knew him, because I'm like, this dude needs ADHD medication real bad.
Yeah,
Real
if
bad. He is all over the place, and he says later on, he's like, I'm 20, which first of all, this actor is not 20.
I wrote
Not
down
even
20
close to
years old
20.
my ass.
Yes, same. Same. Yeah, and I don't know, his just antics were very, very immature and just like very over the top, and I was like, I can't tell if they were just amplifying them for this vision thing, um or if that's how he actually was in person, because I was like, if you were at the academy, why were you there? And like, they would never take you seriously, you know?
It's something that they kind of touch on, because I think he even says to Kirk, I act how you expect me to act. So like Kirk might have exaggerated memories of him just based on his interactions. So he might have
Okay.
been the thing, whatever the construct of Finnegan that
Yeah.
fucking Finnegan. I'll explain that in a minute. I keep laughing every time I
Okay.
say his name. This version of Finnegan was probably over the top and exaggerated based on Kirk's memory of him. Like he probably wasn't that big of a personality in
Okay.
person.
That's
But,
what I kind of figured. I was like, this is a lot. So much.
I keep laughing at Finnegan because I can't help but think about Frisky Dingo, which was, if you've watched Archer, it's that basically those creators of Archer. It was the show they did before Archer. It's fantastic. I love it. It's ridiculous and over the
Okay.
top. But there's a scene in the second season where they're talking about something, and he's like, they mentioned someone that he knew, Felicity Finnegan, and he's like, "Oh, Fat Tits Finnegan." It's just
Oh no.
so anytime I hear Finnegan, I just think of Xander Cruz going, "Ah, Fat Tits Finnegan," and the voice actor. If you've watched Archer, the voice actor for Xander Cruz is the same guy who plays Ray on Archer. So imagine that voice going,
"Oh, Fat Tits Finnegan, yeah."
I'm not going to say it anymore
Dead.
on the stream, I promise. But yeah, so every time I hear Finnegan's
great.
name, I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Now I'm gonna think of it. That's good. The next one we see is Don Juan, or not. We don't see him.
Yeah.
My first thought was, is that supposed to be blood on the tree? The tree is like
No.
spray painted red.
Yes. I read about that in the
Is that supposed to be like his? I don't know. Because I was like, this definitely doesn't look like blood.
No, I didn't put these in the memory alpha facts and trivia, but it does say under sets and props. It says, unique to this episode, the handles of the phaser pistols are painted black, and then it says paint was also applied to some of the rocks and trees, which have been doctored with streaks of red spray paint, presumably to make them look more exotic, which they would not. I don't think they would be able to get away with doing that now. But in the 60s, it's just spray paint this tree so it looks exotic.
But it was just one part of the tree.
Yeah.
And it was clearly spray paint. I don't know.
It's another one of those things that on TVs at the time, it might not have been as obvious.
Yeah, maybe. Very weird. But also, like, I know nothing about Don Juan, but like, if she's daydreaming about him, why is he attacking her?
Yeah, I don't know much about Don Juan either, but I don't think he was
Okay.
like someone who committed sexual assault, but I could be wrong. I thought he was just a renowned
Which clearly
lover.
she did not know about that, or else she wouldn't have been imagining him. That's very weird. I didn't understand that. And then, like, at the end, he's trying to, like, pull her away.
Mm-hmm.
So still not good. Very weird.
Yeah, it says so. Wikipedia says there have been many versions of the Don Juan story, but the basic outline remains the same. He is a wealthy Andalusian libertine who devotes his life to seducing women. He takes great pride in his ability to seduce women of all ages and stations in life, and often he disguises himself and assumes other identities in order to seduce women. How many times did I have to type out seduce women?
Yeah, really. That's very problematic.
Yeah. Well, that's from
all
the
ages
1600s, so
still.
I don't expect much from them.
The all ages thing in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. Definitely not good. Anyways, and then do you have anything else about the Don Juan stuff? Okay. And then Kirk's vision. Who is this lady now? Always a lady. Always got to make out with someone. Well, kinda. Like the weird kind of side kiss thing. Or whatever that was.
Apparently that is Ruth and is an old Academy flame.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And at first when he said Ruth, I was like, wasn't there another Ruth? And I was like, oh, one of Mud's women was Ruth, but that's definitely a different Ruth.
Ruthie. Yeah, she's my favorite.
Ruthie. Definitely different. Same. And then we almost get more of Sulu's sword fighting with the samurai.
They tried to shoot him with his phaser, but it didn't work. Yeah,
it did not. I would have loved to see him fighting again, which I just watched the first Star Trek the other day, of the Chris Pine Star Treks, and I forgot that Sulu on there does sword fighting as well, with the really cool retractable sword that just kind of like unfolds. It's like, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, there was when I can't remember when the tiger first appeared, because it appeared several times.
It appeared with Martine and what was the other dude's?
The lady's name.
Martine was the lady's name. Angela Martine.
Oh, yes. My brain just farted.
And
wasn't it
Rodriguez?
Bones was calling him Esteban, but wasn't that his first name?
Yeah, Esteban Rodriguez.
There we go. We got it.
And Angela Martine, which Angela Martine is the lady whose fiance just died in Balance of Terror, and she got over that. She seems to be doing pretty well.
I did not put two and two together until right now.
There's a little bit about that during the episode trivia, so we'll talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious what filming order they did this in then. Yeah, and then we have the unfortunate impalement of my personal friend Bones.
Yeah. My surgeon and personal friend.
Yeah, he says my personal friend. I'm like, that's a weird way of saying it, instead of saying my friend. Like, you don't have to say personal. It's just like a double whatever.
He's not just a work friend. He's a personal friend. Yeah.
I just thought that was funny how he said that. And then they're like, oh, it's a dummy in there. And then, Spock slowly is starting to figure it out. And that's when Finnegan comes back.
Yeah. Which
I just thought it was so funny that Kirk was like, oh, I'll just take care of this. And Spock's like, wait, what? Okay, bye. Like, Kirk is just this is such a dude's thing, because no woman would ever do this. Like, he's so pent up about getting back at this dude that, like, doesn't care about trying. Like, I mean, he's also trying to talk to him to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that to an extent, but also, like, you really think, like, he's gonna give you an answer? And we know for sure it's more so just to, like, get at him. Yeah, to get back at him. It has nothing to... it's more so to do with that than it is with figuring out what's going on there.
Yeah,
For
and he
sure.
pretty much says as much to Finnegan after he beats the stuffing out of him. He's like, "Yeah, I did enjoy it."
Yep, he did, and he said that to Spock too, and Spock's like, I think I've figured it out now. But that fight was just so silly too. And then of course Kirk is like partially shirtless by the end of it, which once again, every time Kirk has to either make out with someone, be shirtless, or fight with someone. Every damn time. I know there's a fourth thing I said last episode. I cannot fucking think about it now. We just took a break so I could try to think of it, and I still couldn't. And I'm gonna watch this back and be like, you fucking idiot. Your memory is so fucking bad. Dear God, help you. Anyways, I forgot about the part where the plane starts firing at them and what's her face dies.
Yeah, she just like runs
She just
into the
dies.
tree and falls over.
Yeah. I was dying, ironically. I was dying at that because yeah, she runs into the tree and then she's like stands for a second and then she falls over.
Very slowly falls backward. And,
Very slowly falls backward. I was like, great acting. Yeah, that was funny.
That's really all I have for notes on the episode.
Yeah. The only things I have left were still confused why Don Juan was trying to hurt her. And then I said, oof, these hotties. Bones been caught. Barrows is jealous. And then I was like, ooh, Spock loves the chorus line.
Yeah.
And my last note is, so they're okay with shore leave there now after all of the threatening stuff? Which I get if you control your thoughts, but it's very much like Stay Puft Marshmallow. Like you're gonna have wandering thoughts. No one can control their thoughts well enough for there to be absolutely nothing to threaten them again. So
yeah,
but like I kind of thought it was nice in a way because they still got their shore leave and everyone could like fulfill their fantasies however they want to. But yeah, I just found that kind of weird because if I was them, I'd be like, no, this is too temperamental to like go through with that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to admit, I tried to look up to see who played the chorus line girl in Yellow, and unfortunately, all that the information is said uncredited performers as unknown performers as Rigel chorus girls, and I was like, damn.
Why specifically the one in Yellow, Johnny?
Because goddamn. I'm sorry.
I literally
She's
could
a
not
very
tell
attractive
the
individual.
I didn't look at them closely enough. I was just like, damn.
Oh,
Apparently
I noticed.
you saw a difference.
Mm-hmm. So that will take us to favorite lines and moments.
Yeah. I think this whole episode was a favorite moment.
I did have
like
a
clusterfuck.
Couple of things that I specifically saved, like Spock flaunting when he's saying everybody needs rest, myself accepted, of course.
Yeah.
Spock. When Kirk is doing the log and he's like, stardate 3025.3, like you mentioned. And they talk about no plants, animals, or force fields of any kind. Why specifically force fields?
I don't know. Maybe like if they're trying to hide those things behind a force field or something's being hidden behind a force field, which it kind of was.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Because the industrial complex that Bones mentions underneath. But yeah, those were my... and then Spock bamboozling Kirk with the shore leave. Those were my favorite moments. Did you have anything
that was
specific?
That was definitely one of my favorite moments with him, bamboozling him, Kirk. And I really enjoy this episode. It was a lot of fun, specifically for lines though. I really liked that's a McCoy pill, a little mystery sugar coating, which Kirk said to Spock.
Yeah.
I didn't like the line where Barrows was like, a lady to be protected and fought for. I'm like, bleh. And then when Bones said to Barrows, I'm a doctor. When I peek, it's in the line of duty. I'm like,
that line was weird.
You sound like a Olympic gymnastics doctor right there. Okay. Won't get into that. And then I liked the line, that sounds like a painful reality, when Spock said to Kirk about being punched.
Yeah.
That's it for my lines.
Okay. That will bring us to That's What They Said.
All right. I'll go first this time.
Okay.
Because ladies should come first. A little higher.
Push harder.
Dig in there, Mr. Spock.
Thank you, Yeoman. That's sufficient.
He wants to get me down there.
Afraid I won't swallow it.
I'd like to take another look at that area.
Can you feel that now?
Did you enjoy it, Captain?
Yes. I enjoyed it.
Yay. That's what they said.
That's what they said. Next, we will go to episode trivia from Memory Alpha.
Yep.
A chained tiger was brought in to appear in the episode. Which
I saw that chain.
Yeah, which it was, and we saw it.
Mm-hmm.
While the tiger never directly interacts with any of the performers, William Shatner had originally hoped to wrestle it. But
if that is not the most Shatner thing I've ever heard, I don't know what is. That is amazing.
But was convinced it would not be a wise decision to wrestle a goddamn tiger.
That sounds like he convinced himself after, and not other people were like, I'm sorry, what now? You stupid. Oh boy. That's funny.
It's ridiculous. Similarly, oh, where'd it go? I lost it. The script also called for an elephant to appear in the episode.
Oh, damn.
An elephant was indeed hired, so they paid to get an elephant.
Oh, shit.
An elephant was indeed hired by the production staff and brought to the set.
Oh, damn. And then not used?
Yeah, due to running overtime and other difficulties during shooting, the animal never made it before the cameras, which made associate producer Robert Justman, who was not on set at the time and couldn't oversee production, truly angry.
Truly angry.
Later,
yeah.
Production staff members often jokingly asked assistant director Greg Peters, "Say, when do you get to use your elephant?"
Also sounds like that's what they said.
Yeah. And then this is, I kind of alluded to this when talking about Angela Martine. Although Kirk addressed Angela as Teller early in the episode, she is played by Barbara Baldwin, who played Angela Martine in Balance of Terror. Her fiance Robert Tomlinson died in the episode. The script name for her character was Mary Teller and was changed to Angela Martine on set when somebody noticed she had already appeared as a named character.
Yep, that's how they did it back then.
Yep. So that
I
might.
mean, it's funny.
Go ahead.
It's funny how that happens. Like background actors will be used again in a series, but usually they're better at hiding them and they're truly in the background, or maybe they're in the foreground at one point and then they're literally in the background at another point. That's so funny. They were like, oh yeah, I wonder when. So wait, when did they exactly film it?
I
The
think
order?
these two were filmed back to back.
Okay. I'm like, if you film them back to back, how did you not figure that out?
Yeah, they were produced. Balance of Terror was produced, and then Shore Leave was produced. Somehow I don't know. That may attribute to why the character seems so fine.
Mm-hmm.
Although we talked about this a little bit, like at the end of the last episode that her fiance died in, she seemed fine. But like it's 60s TV, episodic, etc.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Suspend reality for a second.
So that will do it for episode trivia.
Sweet.
So let's go to spoilers without context. Ensign Kayla went first last time, so we will bring my spoilers without context up on the screen.
You go, Glen Coco. You go.
Okay. Of course, White Bunny for the White Rabbit.
And you had to choose the cutest stinking bunny ever.
I did. If you don't know this about me, bunnies and guinea pigs, I turn into a 6-year-old. Like, love them. They're adorable.
Yeah, he
Cannot
does.
resist the cuteness.
He does. He loves the buns. The buns, that is.
The buns over there. I won't bring it up.
Darn.
Cross pollinate. I've got the bun.
Cross pollinate. Cross the streams.
Worlds
You're
colliding.
crossing the streams.
Yeah. People who have not watched Sundered Veil are gonna be like, "What the fuck? Why does he have us? What?" And then
Go watch it.
Yes, Diced Thespians. I run a game for Diced Thespians. The Black Knight from Monty Python for the knight that kills Bones. We have spear, because like Kirk just speared the shit out of Finnegan in their fight. He like jumps off the rocks right onto him.
Okay. I was like, of course you have to include some wrestling picture.
And then the distracted boyfriend meme for Bones and his chorus girls when they were hinting at something developing between him and Yoga Barrows. So felt like that was suitable.
Was perfect. I love that.
So those are mine, and we will bring up Ensign Kayla's spoilers without context.
Yep. Mine are pretty self-explanatory. Alice in Wonderland was in it. The antennas were constantly in it. I purposely chose Damon in his jousting armor from Hot D, aka House of the Dragon. Because it's any excuse I can to look at Damon and use his picture. Don't condone incest, but I love him. And then a chorus line for the chorus line girls, which I'm proud of myself for actually not calling them call girls like I thought I was this whole time. So good job to me.
Yes, well done.
Very proud.
Well done. So that will bring us to ranking the episode. So Ensign Kayla, how do you rank Shore Leave?
This might be controversial, but I'm going to rank it Captain.
Okay.
Even though I don't think it's essential to watch. Because it's just like a clusterfuck of shit that happens. Like, it's not really that essential, but it's a fun clusterfuck. Like, you'll enjoy yourself. Like, you won't walk away from this wishing you hadn't watched it, if that makes sense. Like, it's fun, it's crazy, crazy antics, very different from other episodes. It was cool that it was on the first thing that looked most like Earth, or like a forest. I liked that aspect of it. Yeah, once again, like last episode, a lot of different characters that were involved. Like fun antics. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't any kind of like deep meaning to it or anything, and like, yeah, like it wasn't like the most impactful episode, but it was fun and I genuinely enjoyed it. So I would say if you like fun and you like crazy antics, definitely watch it. If you don't like fun, then go to therapy. Yeah. What about you?
I was on the fence for a while, and I was like, I don't know. Like you said, it's not necessarily a pivotal episode. Like, it's not an important episode, but I still think it's a must-watch episode. It's the first, like, really fucking weird Star Trek episode, and it is a lot of fun, so I am also going to give it Captain.
Wow.
So I did think about Commander for a long time. I was like, I think it's probably only a Commander.
Yeah. I think some people would probably give it a Commander. Yeah. Some people that don't like fun.
No pressure.
No, I totally get it. Like, if we're being,
when the rank poll is up.
Yeah, if we're being literal, I would technically say Commander, but you know, it's still a personal choice, and I will say Captain. And I'm sticking to it.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll bring us to our next episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Galileo 7. The Galileo, which is a shuttlecraft, if you weren't aware. The Galileo, under Spock's command, crash lands on a hostile planet. As the Enterprise races against time to find the shuttlecraft, Spock's strictly logical leadership clashes with the fear and resentment of his crew.
Sounds exciting.
Should be interesting.
Suspenseful and exciting.
Sounds like some character development for Spock.
Definitely. And I think it was Allison or someone in the chat was like, oh, you guys have a solid 2 episodes that were coming up like a few episodes ago. And I was like, oh, it must have been these episodes. I thought maybe it was the menagerie, but I think it was
during
like they made it seem it was either during the menagerie or it made it seem like it was further away after the menagerie. I don't know.
I mean,
but yeah,
we're getting into a chunk of the season that is just this back half of season 1 is just packed with good stuff. So it's gonna be interesting.
We love a good back half. Speaking of, make sure to smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon. If you want to follow us, you can follow us at GTFO channel on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. Or if you want to email us, some Star Trek memes or just anything, you can email us at channelgtfo@gmail.com. It's the opposite of everything else. And this Monday, August 21st, we're going to be doing a season 2 wrap up of Strange New Worlds, so be sure to tune into that as well.
And if you're not watching this during the premiere and it's later, go check it out in our live stream section. It should be there.
Yeah.
As long as it's past August 21st.
Yeah.
If it's not past August 21st, come watch it live on Monday.
Yeah. Come join us. It'll be a
do?
lot of fun. We're going to have some special guests on. Yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. We'll see you later. Peace and long life.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.